The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster Sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides. Mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
Good morning, everybody. Hello there. Welcome to the Morning Sickness. It is 5:45. My name's John Holmberg. There's Brady Bogan. There's Brett Vesley. There's Big Dick Toledo. Now just calm down. Sure. Chunks of the sky have come out, and they have hit the ground. But I take you back in my little mental time machine. Travel with me, won't you? It's February. I tell you, on July 15th, the Suns will be in a best-of-3 series for the championship and have 2 games at home. Will you take that? Would you say all day long?
Oh, yeah.
That's where we are. It's okay. City of crazy. All my emails are like, you jinxed it yesterday. You said the Bucks would win. I said, as a gambling man, I would bet Bucks. My heart was hoping the Suns would pull this thing off for sure as a fan. But as a smart person, as Ace Rothstein up there in Vegas making the lines, you look at that and you go, home crowd, Bucks are a good team. They're up by 4. My prediction was 111-107. Pretty close. Not Ace Rothstein. That's why I missed by 2. But it's okay. Best of 3 series. That's where we sit. Best of 3 series with 2 home games. If I'd have told you that in February and said, will you take that? If I can present that to you, would you take it? No way. I want to sweep. I want a 5. No, you would say, absolutely. We're going into a championship, 2 games at home, and 3 games. We got to do this. Yep. You would take it. And I get this mentality from being a Cub fan for so long. When the Cubs were down, what was it? Was it 3-1 against the Indians? And I went to the game when they got shelled. I'm at that stupid game. Yeah. I traveled all the way back to Chicago to watch my Cubs get killed and go down in this thing. And I was like, we're in trouble. This is bad. And my friend said, if I told you that we had 2 home games, 3 games left, and this is the picture. We had Hendricks, Lester, and Arias rolling out. Would you take it? Like, yeah. And he goes, that's where we have to sit. That's what we're sitting in. Suns fans are losing it. And it's not my fault, by the way, you jinxie gypsy weirdos. I just said what I thought was going to happen, and it happened. I'm sorry. Brady said the same thing. He's a gypsy, too. Jinxie gypsy.
By, from last night's results, there was a chance.
Oh, it was a good game.
Rather than a blowout,
yeah.
You're saying if you could steal one, they almost did.
Jeremy and I were talking about it on the phone because he's also a Cub fan. You understand. We both said these people don't understand droughts. You guys, I know it's been 50-plus. You don't get a drought. You don't understand a drought. White Sox fans to a certain degree until 2005.
Yep.
Droughts are 50 years are pretty decent, but it's okay. Take this. Take this best of 3 with 2 games at home. This is a good thing. So
who drugged Chris Paul?
He looked terrible. I think he's injured. Even when he wasn't turning it over, he couldn't dribble with his right hand. Like something was going on. And it was when his shoulder hurt against the Lakers, he had the same problem. I was talking to Kevin Ray about it and texting.
I'm like, it was almost misfiring.
I'm like, is he hurt? He's had torn tendons in his hands the whole series, the whole playoffs. And it started to look like something was wrong because they were playing better with Campaign at the point because they were. But 17 turnovers. Look, the Suns didn't lose that game because Chris Paul had a bad night, and he did. They lost it because they were throwing it all over the floor. 17 turnovers against a team like that at their house, you're not winning that game. And you almost did.
Tight.
They almost stole it.
Yep.
Throwing the ball all over the court. So they just have to shore it up. What we haven't seen really, other than game 1, I think, is a game where the whole team played.
You need Booker and
Paul.
And Paul
for sure.
Together.
They both need to be together. Ayton, Crowder. Last night, Cam Johnson. Mikal Bridges has been a ghost in this series so far outside of one game. And, I mean...
some good defense.
They play. But that's the you need the bench guys to show up, do their job, and they did last night. That 17 turnovers sucked. But, you're missing a couple of guys. Cam Johnson's playing out of his head. That guy's a steal. But, yeah, it was a good game. And once they get Booker getting in foul trouble didn't help, and no Suns fans, the referees did not. Because think about it, what the Bucks fans were saying when the Suns won. Why don't we get any calls? It's the exact same thing every losing team says.
That was the whole thing online last night. Of course, everybody, all the Suns fans, it was bad officiating. The worst game ever called. I'm like, it really wasn't. I mean, there was some misses. I mean, absolutely.
Devin Booker fouled out of that game 3 times.
Yeah.
We can cry and whine about calls all night long, but to put your real Talk Sports hat on, Devin Booker fouled out of that game.
I didn't see anything.
A lot.
The ref's looking the other way.
He sat for 5 minutes, and he had a couple. I'm like, he's done. And they let it go. And I'm like, well, they're letting him play, which is great.
Yeah, he had 8 fouls on him.
He had at least 8 fouls, especially in the last 5 minutes when he came back with 5. One, I think he was trying to foul just to make sure. He's like, I got to sack myself for this one. He can't let this ball
turnover.
And he got the ball. I'm like, oh, my God. They let him have that. So officiating always feels bad when you lose. You never sit and say, that game was so poorly officiated, the one we won. No, nobody ever says that. So best of 3, 2 at home. Don't worry about it.
And
it's
for
all
the
good.
Bucks, it was, Middleton was the...
He's outstanding.
Yeah.
And Chris Middleton is good. And so that's his game. He's as good as Devin Booker when he wants to be. He's just not that dynamic. So this is it's a fun series. I guess it would be more fun. Everybody wants a blowout. Everybody wants, 4 or 5 game series. Nobody wants your team to struggle.
Who can get it on the road?
But first one. Well, Suns don't have to. Yep. That's the best part of home court. You don't have to get one on the road.
Yeah.
You lose them all on the road. So what? You got 4 at home. Take care of your home. We're at that point now. Take care of the home court advantage. If you lose in Milwaukee, so be it. Make sure you don't lose here. That's it. Don't let them steal one, because the Suns almost stole one last night because they were playing average to poor basketball with one guy going nuts and still had the lead with, short period of time left. Booker going out when he did was trouble. Because he was just pouring it in at that point. When he got to
couldn't miss
38 points, I'm like, this guy can't miss. And he picks up his 5th foul. You're like, he's got to sit till at least 4 minutes. And Monty brought him in at 5. But it was good. It's a good game. And I'm getting a little tired of everybody saying that this Mike Budenholzer coach for the Bucks. He's from Holbrook, Holbrook, Arizona. And they're like, Arizona wins either way. Don't start that nonsense talk now. Come on. Stop it. Well, I got a winner in Holbrook. He was almost the Suns coach, but they hired that Igor cartoon character from Russia for a couple years. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And they were going to hire. Bud was the front runner.
That was an arrangement.
It had to be, because something was going on with an owner, like a silent owner of like, look, give you lot, Mr. Sova, you hire my guy. We have to hire Igor. Basketball coaches named Igor, few and far between. You're like, man, that's a good hire. I don't know if he's still around or what, but this is the guy. But yeah, he's from Holbrook, so either way, Arizona gets the championship. Shut up. I don't even know where Holbrook is half the time. I got to look it up. It's up on the
I'm sure he'll say
north,
after,
right?
Every game he's like, it's just tough beating this team from Arizona since I've grown up there. And
at least, I hate that. I hate when people do that. At least an Arizona guy got it. No, come on. No, you don't like everybody here. There's people who always say that civic pride thing. I see you on the freeways flipping other Arizonans off, or at the Circle K going, move, dickhead. Like, everybody hates it. Like, if we were all in it together, silly. It is funny how sports unites, though. Because they're, again, now basketball, everybody's wearing their Suns shirts out and all this stuff, and people you would never even associate with. You're like, what's up, man? Go Suns. Yeah. Like your best friends. It's tribal. We could get rid of racism completely and start tribalism through sports, because it doesn't matter what color you are or anything else. You wear the same gang member colors as me. If I'm in Suns gear and Jeremy's in Suns gear, and then 3 Crips walk by in Suns gear, we're all like, what's up, boys? How you doing? Yes, Suns, we're going to do this. I'm like, oh, God. Steelers, I saw that at Total Wine. One time I was in there, we were playing the Chargers, and a guy in a Chargers jersey walked by me. He looked like a decent human being. Yeah, go get him, buddy. And we're looking at each other like, I'll kill you today. I'll kill you dead in this Total Wine.
Brady knows that with the OH stuff. I mean,
unbelievable.
Anybody.
And then those people burn their couches down. If they win a game, they end up destroying half the state.
Still blows me away.
I see a Steelers fan, with a gun up against somebody's head, and I'm like, go Steelers! Like, we're friends. I don't care what you're doing with
You're cool.
You're tight. What did this person do to you, Steelers fan? Why are you going to shoot him?
You need help?
Clearly their fault. Yeah. You want me to punch him? You want me to soften him up in the middle? I do have to say this, because as the industry of radio, as an industry, I don't like, I think all of us are the same. Yeah, pretty much. No, Brady doesn't like the word hate, but it's a pretty garbage.
It's a little harsh.
Well, dislike, I don't know where to put it. I don't want to plug you in, but there's a lot of nastiness and weirdness, and it's not mean. It's just smarmy. It's a smarmy business, and I think most are. And when you're in it as long as we've been doing this, and again, this 20 years now, and this station, and a few more at another. And Brett, you've seen the ugliest side of everything.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeremy is currently mired in the worst parts, which is promotions. I am still deep at heart kind of a radio knob. I grew up listening to it a lot because my dad loved it. Like, my dad was a WLS guy in Chicago. He listened to Larry Lujak, and that's kind of where I discovered my desire to maybe want to do this. Was watching my dad laugh so hard in that kick-ass K5 blazer he should have kept at Larry Lujak and Little Tommy Animal Stories. That was his thing. And I'll never forget, like, this is the happiest I've ever seen this guy. So radio had this little moment. I felt it again for the first time in years last night because I had to go to we had to go to a going away party for one of our sales ladies over at Mavericks last night. Here's the problem with that. And I'll get this all ties back together. Just follow along. We have a sales lady named Susan. She's in charge of she's like second in command here, right?
Yep.
She's awesome. But she put together this going away party on a day where the Suns are in the finals game, and I think the world of her. So about 5:15, this party starts wrapping up. Everybody goes, and I'm very close with Lisa, the lady who's leaving, and I gave her a little chat, and we started talking. Went over to talk to Susan. It's the Mutual Admiration Club. We're all talking about, it's great working with you. What a great relationship. I love them. They love me. It's just awesome. We're having a nice chat. I keep looking at my phone. It's 5:06. Still nice working with you. Everybody's happy. I really like working with you. This is great. Layla, you're amazing. Okay, it's 5:42. Gosh, I love working with you guys. You got to stop talking to me now. Got to hit the door, and it's just so nice, so nice. I leave the Mavericks because when a woman is in charge of stuff, they forget that sports are involved, and then you have to play the game. And I wanted to push both Layla and Susan for being so nice to me. After a certain point at 5:58, it's like, I've got to go. So I get in the car. Game starts at 6:10. 5:58, I hop in. I have not listened to Al McCoy for a long time. I popped
just
him
highlights.
Popped him on a little bit here and there. Friends with Kevin Ray, the TV guy. We've talked about Al. I've always known Al as kind of a poor man's Chick Hearn for the Lakers, but still legendary. Longest tenured broadcaster at the NBA. And I got the privilege of listening to Al call this game last night for about 25 minutes. And it woke up that beast in me that loves this job. There is no more power. Sometimes I take for granted how much fun this is. And then when I was listening to that, and he brought me to that game, and it was
and you put
silk.
The age in
he's 90, he's 87 years old.
It's amazing.
And he's a little slower than he used to be when he did the games on Channel 45 with Cotton Fitzsimmons, and he's a little older, and you can hear it. But man, oh man, did he create some magic for somebody like me who has been, looking down on this industry for such a long time because of the business side you see. And then when it takes you out and it makes you a fan of radio again, man, we have got a gem in this town. That guy is, if there's no statue of him outside of that arena soon, he has to get it before he dies, because I think what's going to happen is Al's going to retire and then it won't be long. I thought that with Vince Scully, too. I may be wrong, but, give him every honor he deserves. The Ring of Honor's nice, but Al McCoy is the only mainstay from day one. And at 87 last night, I sped home to watch this game, and by the time I got to my driveway, I sat in it and listened to him rather than going and visual watch this. He painted the picture. It was gorgeous. And I don't know if this gets back to him at all. I've met Al McCoy once. I don't care. I was a fan of not only him, but the power of this and broadcasting and all that. It's when it's done that well, it's beautiful. And it was awesome. And I don't know if you guys have listened to him on the radio.
Not in a while, no.
Two of the in the first series,
so good.
A couple of times, both in the car.
Yeah.
And I felt, similar. It's like, God, the guy does not miss.
He's just, and
paints
he's
the
older.
picture.
Look, he's older. I always, and the Shazams and the catches, Shazam and all that stuff is silly.
It's still,
but that's
and
old school radio.
He's
so
a homer.
sharp, though.
Yeah. He's a homer who doesn't play homer. Chick Hearn was a homer for the Lakers, and Chick Hearn is like the gold standard of basketball broadcasting. And you remember him from Fletch?
Oh, yeah.
6'4", 6'9" with the afro. Chick Hearn was just – Al McCoy has always been sort of stepped down from Chick Hearn's brilliance. But I think it was more because he got so many great games to call. Chick Hearn spent his entire career calling Showtime Lakers games. Jerry West and that entire Chamberlain. I mean, Chick Hearn had a little bit more Play-Doh to work with. Al McCoy has been through the ringer and back again in 50-plus years, and this is his third finals. I honestly, it sounds really cheesy. It was a privilege to listen to that because I'd forgotten how good basketball broadcast on the radio can be. Baseball's the same way when it's done right, and there aren't many of those guys doing it right anymore either. I mean, you've got that awful Len Casper for the White Sox. And
he's on the radio. I don't listen to that.
The only thing that would be on my radio if Len Casper was on it is a hammer. I'd be bashing it in going, where's the TV? I'm going to watch this game. But, yeah, Al McCoy,
he was doing the play-by-play, and the night that I was listening was that one Tim Kempton was adamant about the officiating. And Al kind of brought him back into them like, well.
Yeah. Shut the him.
It was good. I mean, he more or less was kind of doing that end. He's like, well, it's the NBA.
Yeah, and there are times when Al, you hear it. I mean, it's 50-something years with this guy. And there are those things where you just, I honestly, it was 20 minutes in the car, and I was flying down Lincoln. I mean, I was flying. I think I got one of them photo radars. And you're just going to see a dude in I'm breaking G-forces. My face is peeled back. You're going to see some skeletal marks because I was moving as fast as a Jeep can go. And they're a little faster than they used to be, I'll tell you that. They get going. But, yeah, it was. We really do, as people of this city, you got to, you sit and say, go Suns, and you're all embracing this. Embrace that guy because he's not going to be around much longer. And K-Ray's awesome. And I can't wait to see my friend K-Ray someday get that same kind of respect and everything else, whether it's here or somewhere else. But I think Kevin does a great job, but this is remarkable what's going on there. And he's, again, aged. It's different. Albert calling the games there at the end for TBS. He wasn't as good as Marv used to be by any stretch, but it was still Marv's voice and something special about Al McCoy. So we need to really recognize when, instead of rolling Alice Cooper's goddamn bones out every 5 seconds as our Phoenix thing, let's recognize some greatness that happened here as far as the world of broadcasting. It's not like he's changing the earth, but man, oh man, it was an honor. And it fired me up to say there's some juice to radio that's never going to change. Broadcasting, I'll say, not even radio. That's never going to change. It's that Carson factor. You hear Johnny's voice and something soothed, it was soothing.
Yep.
Letterman didn't ever have that. Leno never had that, but Letterman was probably the second closest. But that soothing, he's always going to be part of it. It hit me last night to say he's not always going to be part of it. We're going to lose him soon. Not necessarily to death, but he's got to step away soon.
There's been people that saying that for about 10 years.
Yeah. About Al?
Yeah.
Well, they forgot about him. They forgot about the whole team. But it's if you grew up in the city, you know what I'm talking about because Al McCoy was the voice of the Sun. Took it for granted. Here we are. He's 87 years old. He's still doing it. We don't have much time left.
When did he go back to radio? I don't remember.
Well, the traveling thing changed a lot. I think they started to play with the TV broadcast where he wouldn't do that. But I think radio, part of the deal, as far as I know, and I don't know if Kevin's listening and he can tell me, but part of the radio thing is you get to broadcast the big games. Because TV cuts off after the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then it's all national, except your radio's local still. So Al gets to call. Yeah. That's why Len Casper won the Sox games. He couldn't do a World Series doing television broadcast because there's one group doing it. And so something having to do with that, his age, not wanting to travel. It's a little easier to do this. I think there's some people who are pushing him out on TV. We got to get a younger group. We're not seeing numbers. And there's probably a whole bunch of factors that went in. But there's something special about that. That voice was butter, and it made me know I'm okay. I'm not going to miss this game, because I was worried while Susan was just talking my goddamn ear off.
Yeah, we saw that. Me and Toledo were sitting there and we were like David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty disappear. We were gone.
You guys did vanish. Now I got an email.
The power fade.
I got an email while all this is going on, and a lot of people ask, "Where's Brady?" And I'm like, he had a lot going on today. I didn't know it. I just made up. I buddied up. I wingman. He's got a lot going on today. He's chopping down trees or something. He's got a big lumberjack thing. And then I get an email that says, I'm 5 feet behind Brady and his entire crew at Chino Bandito. And so you went over and had some Mexican Chinese food and he was probably there the entire time we were at the Mavericks.
I got to Chino at 2:00, and
you had a day.
I was
because we had our action ride shop.
After, that was like 5 o'clock. I was on the west side.
Yeah.
Trying to work my way back. Didn't happen.
Yeah, it's long. It's a long road. They got an oil change. But Chino Bandito on the way. But people are like, should I say something? should I say something? And I've got these emails. I'm like, I can't talk to you till I see you tomorrow morning, but I'm reading them now. I'm like, you should have said something. Did they? Did you get attacked at the Bandito?
He sent me.
Oh, emailed you a picture of you eating? Probably.
No, he didn't. No, he just said, hey, I saw you there. I go, next time say hi.
Yeah, it's Brady in the wild. That's the scary part. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Gino Bandito, jerk burrito. Money. I'm in Flavortown.
So, but it was, it was nice. Susan wouldn't shut up. That's the worst part about having ladies in charge of things is they don't understand that I'm a man and I need to go watch that game and it can't just happen here. I have to run to this. She was very, understanding of that. And she's a lovely lady. But next time you have, this is for all women in charge of anything, which is hard to even say. Next time you have a thing that you have to plan for the station, not on game day. It's like the wives that tell their husbands, we're doing this on Sunday, but the Cardinals are playing the Seahawks Sunday. You are not going to put that ahead of my mother and lunch. The
old bag will be there next week. What difference does it make?
You'll know the score when you get home.
You see those poor bastards that have to do stuff because the lady's in charge instead of going and watching the game. I've had a friend actually have to stop being a Steelers fan and move away. She made him move because his Steeler friends were here.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, we're moving. Like, what? We're moving away. Like, you like that more than you? Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Ladies, you think we love you with all our heart, but then you see what it looks like when we actually love something with all our heart, and it's usually involved in a sporting event. Like, that's where our true, like, as a man, that's how we emote. That's our Harlequin romance. That's our Bridgerton. You're seeing us gush love for the teams we support.
It's your Hallmark channel.
It is. And then they're like, hey, he doesn't do that for me. He's never done that for me. What is this? It's like, you don't understand the loyalty I have. I would never leave this thing. You? Thin ice. But that's what makes them mad. So then the mean ones try to plan stuff around the things you love to make it so you stop loving that and start and then it just makes us hate you.
And you can always see it, the guy like you go to the bathroom, the guy goes to the bathroom like 10 times and he's on his iPhone and they're watching the NASCAR race
quietly watching whatever he loves. I'm not allowed. I had to go to this mother-in-law thing. It's called a high tea. I don't even know what that is, but I'm drinking and I don't know what's happening. What's the goddamn score? And he always finds another guy going, you?
Yeah.
That's why they have all those commercials of you can get it on your phone now. And they're
which is
the table.
Good luck with that. But that's a terrible ad campaign. Good luck with that. Oh, yeah, okay. Be a cuck to your wife and stuff, but hide it. Oh, yeah, she'll love that when she takes you antiquing and you're watching the Saints under the table. It's not happening. But, it was Susan's a lovely lady, but this was terrible planning. And Lisa's also to blame because she's leaving. And she's still going to be here for 2 more weeks. We couldn't have this. Come on. We have a going-away party the day of game. I almost said that word. Game, what was it, 4 last night?
Yep.
I had to sit and watch that one up 3-1, and look, it was nice, but Tripp needed to step in on this thing. I don't know who scheduled this on game day, but never again.
No. Now, if it would have happened when the Dodgers were in the World Series, this would not have
occurred.
Would not have occurred at all.
Because the guy in charge has his heart and soul buried in the Dodgers.
Yep.
I am not saying goodbye to anybody while the Dodgers play in the WS. In fact, I'm going to go to it. Bye, ye. Enjoy your going-away party, twinks. And that's the worst part. You're at one of those high teas, and you got your phone watching your game. You're like, see another guy like, hey, dude, you know the score of this
like
and
a
that?
Ted's wedding?
And Ted's wedding is a perfect... Ted's wedding was planned the same day as the AFC Championship game, Chiefs and Patriots. I don't even have a horse in the race, but that's man day.
Man.
And I'm sitting there watching Ted cry his eyes out. I love this lady so much. And we have my phone playing the game, and you're just hearing, they're down in 5, and this little tiny thing, and we're like, oh! Ted's giving a toast.
They're still together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
they are,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
But the worst part is that in the middle of it, got my 8-inch phone right there, just staring at that. Ted's giving this beautiful speech, man crying all over. She's just been everything to me. Turn my life around. And you just hear, that's holding! Hold her, Ted. So, yeah, and every table had a little glowing phone in the center. It was like the centerpieces might as well have been iPhones. But, so we got that out of the way. And I just wanted to gush a little bit about our friend Al McCoy, which is pretty great.
Luckily, you didn't notice the other sports that were on the TVs while you were sitting there.
WNBA.
They were on the big screens there, too.
Did you see WNBA goof.
I saw 7 points in 6 minutes.
Okay. Did you see the goof? This is how meaningless this league is. They accidentally put up on a Vegas line that the over-under of this game would be 250. It was an accident. It took such little action. Like even gamblers didn't even see it. And these guys are degenerates that would have looked and said, over-under in the WNBA game's 250. That's 125 apiece. This ain't happening. They swung it 50 points and brought it back and we'll take those. Don't worry about it. Not enough people paid any attention to even our. You could have been a billionaire yesterday had you hit that. Like, I'm going to bet $1 million that the WNBA game doesn't go to 250, and then they just swung it back to a normal number. 50-point swing in the point spread for the All-Star game before they realized their mistake, and they're like, it's okay. Look, it's W. We'll pay out. Nobody bet it. Nobody pays attention. Nobody even bets it
now,
when they tease you with
deep, that. But do they post on the stats, do they put the shooting percentage up? I don't think they do.
For the WNBA?
Yeah.
Is there a percentage, or is there some sort of other mathematical equation?
What team, shot the percent? Because usually on the Suns,
and have quarterly. They do. They probably don't put the percentage because it would be embarrassing, but they put shots and shots made. It's usually like 3 for 17.
You have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it was.
I'll see if I can find the box score. No pun intended.
The WNBA box score. Brett checking out the box score. Anyway. Yeah, the WNBA gambling. Nobody even paid it. If I'd have seen that, if anybody would have seen that, the phones would have been ringing. Did you see the over-under in the WNBA is 250? We got to get in on this. How much money do you have? I'm like, I'll mortgage the house. This is not happening.
One of my listeners actually went up to the that used to listen to me on overnights. Went up to the game, so I saw the post on Facebook. And here's
to Milwaukee.
He
went to the WNBA.
No, it's a woman. Look how empty it is there.
All-Star game.
Look how empty.
COVID.
There's nobody there.
Is the All-Star game
live?
That's happening on the court.
Yeah, I think it's like right before they're ready to go. I think it's still warm up.
People in there.
Yeah, if that.
Well, because it was on.
They're all getting beers.
It was 4 in the afternoon. That's right. Yeah.
I think there was another one with.
They must have had a big, Muff Merkin charity thing in the.
Still there's the game going, and it's nothing.
There's nobody there, and there's actual gameplay. Wow,
it's a nice dunk in the warm up.
What?
Yeah.
No. I know the All-Star game. They let them run at it real hard and dunk it or try to. So anyway, Al McCoy never had to call those games. I tell my buddy Kevin Ray all the time, I'm like, man, I'd have quit my job the day they said you also have to call He called WNBA games for a while. And then we got in an argument in Los Angeles, because Kevin tried to tell me how good Diana Taurasi is. I'm like, at the end of that sentence, you have to always say, for a girl. Don't tell me this. Oh, no, she could ball. For a girl. Just add that in there at the end. You're impossible to argue with this. I'm like, because you know I'm right. Nobody likes that league. Hilarious stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to give my tribute to Al McCoy, a little bit of an elbow to Susan for planning that on Man Day. And then moving forward from here, we're going to have to pay attention to those plans and be a little bit more mouthy. It's like if you quit the job or you quit and move on or you're leaving your position, you got to do it when sporting events aren't happening. I love Lisa. She's leaving here. I love her. 30 years in the building. I think she's amazing. One of my favorite people on the planet. I'm not going any more going away parties during game day. I don't love her that much. I don't love anybody that much. Anyway, that's where I stand. Let's get a wake-up song, shall we? Let's get this thing going today. Call us up, 585-9800. Tell us what the wake-up song's supposed to be. You can throw it on Facebook, too, and we'll scream it together. It's 98 KUPD. Wake up!
It's out of control now.
98 KUPD.
You've been listening to Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.